Welcome back.
Why does light refract when it enters water? That's an interesting question. I have two answers for you. The first answer is that light refracts because air and water are different mediums. When we look at this question from a cause and effect perspective, we arrive at this answer. But in fact, light simply chooses the path that takes the least amount of time. Such is the principle of least time, proposed by a scholar named Fermat. Light determines the optimal path even before embarking on its journey, as it is aware of its ultimate destination. You may find this concept challenging to grasp at the moment, but someday you will understand. Because you'll become that light, my beloved child.
You chose the shortest path because you knew where you would end up, right? How much had you calculated? Forget it. It doesn't matter. The outcome remains the same despite efforts. This is seriously sickening.
How's it going, Shamash? You're saying we can't retrieve the information because some of the ancient documents haven't been recorded in the database.
Yeah.
That's a challenging situation. The radioactivity tests on the sedimentary mud and the carbon isotope measurements of biological remains attached to this copper sphere indicate that it was buried in the Philistine Sea for at least 2,000 years. Even if we were to search for documents from that period now, it would likely take a while before we find something useful. Unfortunately, we are short-handed during this critical time.
Structure.
Are you asking about the structure of the copper sphere? Unfortunately, our devices can't scan it. The sphere doesn't respond to X-ray transmission or diffraction tests, and its internal structure appears entirely indistinct. The material from which this copper sphere was forged might not even exist in our world. The Delphic Oracle might have some clues, but I'm afraid it's too late to contact them now. What should we do now? Well, there isn't much we can do except guard it. If the prophecy regarding its activation proves true, then someone will come to fulfill that prophecy. And I'm curious to see who will do so right under our noses.
Nemesis.
That's not something we should be concerned about. Instead of worrying about their invasion, we might as well keep an eye on the sphere in case it somehow activates on its own.
What's that?
This? Oh, it's a souvenir Cosmos left for me.
When you face a problem that you can't solve, use it, Nana.
Cosmos, what are you planning? I don't know what's going on with Aryan Zero now. Are they searching for Tasni? If they really found them... Forget it. What am I even hoping for? Shamash! Damn it. Misfortune has a knack for perfect timing. The space was never this unstable during previous activations. Why was it so turbulent this time? What are you doing here? You are all such good kids.
Soon, it will obliterate this place completely. Find Tasni, and he'll help you discover that command.
Yeah.
Instead of getting sidetracked by irrelevant stuff, perhaps we should focus on what to do next.
Yeah.
Farewell. Oh. I guess it's see you later.
See ya.
Goodbye. No. Farewell. Forever.
See ya.
You have lost too much blood. I have barely managed to stop it. Are you feeling better now? It will not catch up with us anytime soon. We are safe for now, but we cannot stay here much longer. The situation does not look good. You have been misled by the future Ereshkigal. We all were. Her goal from the beginning was to find the divine words. She is the one who activated Arten. We are now trapped in a paradoxical spiral, where the cause is the effect, and vice versa. We knew that Arten was about to explode, so we started searching for the divine words to prevent its explosion. However, our action ends up creating the future where Arten explodes. I do not know. Do you remember when we first met Ereshkigal? I see. I need you to do something, Seer. Take me to the place when we first embarked on the journey. You can do it, right?
Where are you going? Good. Everything will go as you wish. My story is reaching its end. But yours has just begun. Keep going, and do not look back. We will meet again. Seer.
Yeah. Since Ereshkigal intends to activate Arten and now has the divine words, she must be looking for it. The essence of your ability is moving instantaneously through this space. Since time is simply one of the dimensions of space here, it is possible for one to walk from one time sector to another specific sector. While the probability is practically zero, it is not zero. That is, as long as one has an endless lifespan, has traveled infinite distances on foot, and has tried enough directions. I do not know exactly how Ereshkigal found Arten in the future you foresaw, but she did. Let's go. Once we capture her and interrogate her, everything will come to light. This realm hasn't started collapsing yet. It seems Arashan hasn't found Arten. Nana and Shamash took Arten to the top of the tower before the beacon was activated. We need to find them before Arashan does. Shamash. Where is that copper sphere? And where is Nana?
Arashan.
Eri, how did you... Where are Zero and Seer? Aren't you supposed to be together?
We were indeed together, but then I got swept away by the turbulence when the beacon was activated. By the way, where is that copper sphere?
Our situation is similar to yours.
Wait, what? You guys let that bomb out of your sight? And now you're standing here doing nothing about it?
The sphere is important. However, Eri, if I remember correctly, you went to the modern floor with Zero and Seer, right? So, how did you end up here?
What are you doubting?
I just want to confirm something.
All right then, I'll get straight to the point. The prophecy is true, and that outsider does have access to the entire library. Not long ago, Seer took me and Zero to the time sector 80 years ago, and we met Tasni there.
What did you say?
Tasni told us that the mechanical sphere is Aten, the god of the sun in Memphian mythology, commanded by the binary language. It is the culprit that destroyed Akedaton. Soon, it will be activated again and obliterate the Library of Babel. I got separated from them, and by the time I realized it, I was already here. Do you want to ask for more information? Or will you come with me and find that copper sphere?
Arishan, are you the one who activated Aten?
What are you even talking about? I intend to deactivate it. Whatever you say. I won't waste my time playing your detective game. You can't even keep a copper sphere safe. Honestly, this makes me wonder if you have stayed too long in the tower and your brains and bodies have started to rust. Suspect me all you want. Just don't stand in my way.
Hold on. I'll go with you. Stay here, Shamash. Zero and Seer might arrive later. Someone should wait for them. Don't worry. We'll be fine.
So, Nana left with Arishan.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Shamash. Arishan has betrayed us. She is the one who activated Aten. She was not lying when she said she wanted to deactivate Aten. But deactivating Aten itself is activating it. The command is a palindrome, and it can cause Aten to perform very different behaviors.
Go. Go find Nana. Tell me the rest on the way. That's the way we came from.
This place keeps changing. We need to figure out how to reach over there. Fluttering wings. Complete insight.
Chains bind only the sinners.
Gravity is reversed. Be careful. The sensor is right here. We need to activate it with a touch. We can use these sensors to change the status of those platforms, adjust their height, and create a path to the central console.
Kneel! Condemnation! Judgment. Ignorance. Ignorance.
Reckless children are not liked.
These traces are...
Nana.
And there was Arashan. Looks like Nana has sensed something.
Seriously? Laughing at a time like this?
Well, when I see you running ahead of me, I can't help but think of the time when you were still a little girl. Do you remember when Cosmos brought you back to the tower? You were only as tall as my knee back then. You couldn't even walk properly. And when you bumped into the corner of a table while running around, you would sit on the ground and shed tears in silence. You know, I always wondered how a kid could resist crying when she was in pain. I used to deal with other kids in the tower, and even if their finger was only poked by a pen, they'd make a fuss loud enough to alert the entire tower.
You sound like an old lady when you talk about my childhood. Seriously, what's the deal with your body? So many years passed, but you're getting younger.
at that time to meet Cosmos's expectations of you. You filled your mind with all those profound and difficult things, just like an emotionless robot. Just like Zero now. Then, Cosmos announced that you wouldn't be the next director. And you changed.
Enough.
Back then, I thought it was a positive change. You'd shed all your burdens and responsibilities, becoming completely light in your soul and being true to yourself. But then, I realized I was wrong. You were simply learning to pretend.
Shut up!
I've always believed that apart from Cosmos, no one else knows you better than I do. Eri, you can still come back.
What are you talking about?
Do you know why I didn't bring Shamash along with me? He's too straightforward. If he had come with me, we wouldn't be having a conversation like this. I'm giving you a chance, Erishan. You can still come back now.
You're still testing me.
I know what you want to say. Everything you said in front of Shamash is true, because Shamash can see through all lies. But you were withholding some key information, weren't you? I've accompanied you since you were young. There are things I can see even when you don't say anything. Since I heard from Seer that you brought the warning about the sphere destroying this place in the future, I've been wondering who could have activated it right under our noses. No one would suspect you, because you were the one warning us and insisting we prevent such a future. But all MAONs know one thing for sure. Prophecies are destined. Once a future is given, it's irreversible, because at that moment, it's no longer a future, but a part that has already happened. The warning to prevent such a future doesn't make any sense at all.
I knew you'd figure it out. But I didn't expect you to go along with my lies when you knew I was lying.
Because I wanted to have a genuine conversation with you alone to get an answer. I don't get it, Erishan. I don't know why you've decided to betray us. That's the only thing I don't understand. Tell me, what exactly do you want to do?
Do you trust me or Cosmos, Nana?
Why are you asking this?
Well, you don't have to answer my question. I already know. Since you're well aware that a prophecy's future is destined past, you should know that you won't make it.
I taught you everything you know. Do you think you can defeat me in a one-on-one fight?
Nana. I met two children. They're Tasni. No, they're Ninsar and Enki.
What did you say?
They asked me to send their regards. And Hedwana?
I'll go find Nana.
Yeah. As for us, we will go after Arashan. It doesn't matter. Suppressing her is not a problem for me. Watch out for the beams. Complete insight. Complete insight. Is this what pain feels like? Complete insight. Onto. End it all.
Hey, there you are, Zero. a bit too late, aren't you?
Where's R10?
Why are you so sure that I've found it?
No reason.
You're being unreasonable. Don't I have a chance to explain myself?
No, you do not. You are just trying to buy more time, and listening to your explanation would only play into your hands.
Ha! You remember my teachings well. So, what's your plan now?
I will stop you here. You can save your explanations for when I heal you.
So, no room for negotiation, I guess.
You never intended to negotiate from the start. Step back.
Waning Crescent! Moon! Fluttering wings. Resolve Moon! Moonset! Futile effort! Waning Crescent! Moonset! Fluttering wings.
What a monster! Is there anyone who can defeat you now?
You are exhausted. Stop your pointless struggle.
To be so arrogant at a time like this. You even deliberately avoided hitting my critical spots. Curse you. You're not taking me seriously at all. All right. I didn't expect to best you anyway. We'll settle this score another time.
Do you think you can still run away?
No. I'm not the one who'll be running away. Didn't I tell you? You're a bit too late. That concludes the prologue. Now it's time for the climax. It took so long to boot up. This antique isn't that impressive, after all. If you had listened to my explanation back then, I would have told you that I had already activated a 10, and that was your last chance to escape.
Do you have the slightest idea what this will lead to? Come to me, Arishan. Run. Ansu!
Finally, the moment has come. Don't be afraid. I've pulled you from the time's current before you crashed. As promised, I will shield you from any harm that comes your way. Don't worry about this place. This realm is unique. Not even the sun's radiance can touch it. Come. I'll assist you in repairing the areas devastated by the sun. Look. Once again, this place has reconnected with the time flow outside. That was a perilous shallows where the current briefly stalled. And you have navigated through the stretch where you were most likely to run aground. Do you wish to revisit the missed segments? No one ever steps in the same perception. Well, take a distant view from this shore. Before plunging back into your time, feel free to glimpse what happened to others in a different time and place. And that's it. Now, time is about to resume its march. While I can momentarily pull you from the time's current, stopping its flow is beyond my capabilities. Let's set sail. We'll meet again at the next stop, wherever that may be.
How ridiculous. Despite all those fancy words, here we are. Fitting. This is truly fitting. Even a variable beyond calculation is too fragile to change anything. Nana, I wouldn't be standing here if I could truly free my soul from its burden. Ah, it's you. So, is this when we first met?
Let's activate the central computer ahead.
It's time to compose a new piece.
There you are, Shamash.
Nana. Zero, pass on this message. The command is a palindrome.
I see. It was indeed the right decision to have you stay there.
You discovered it. Why?
Why what? Why didn't I pursue Erishan? Because that would be futile. I should have realized earlier that the key point is not preventing the copper sphere from being activated, because its activation is destined. In the future that Seer foresaw, the copper sphere was activated but had not yet exploded, and there was nobody present to witness its detonation. Do you grasp what I'm implying, Shamash? We thought we should stop Aten from being activated, but that's a typical misunderstanding. What we should do is try to shut it down again once it's activated. It's a future that hasn't been seen, and it's our last hope.
The command.
It is true that only Erishan knows the command, but there is no such thing as an unbreakable code. All codes share a common enemy. No matter how complex and clever they may be, they will never withstand the most primitive and ungraceful, yet also the most effective decryption method. Brute force method. With enough patience, I can eventually figure out the number of sand grains in every desert across the world. Given sufficient time, as long as I try them one by one, I can ultimately decipher all the codes in the world. Such is the mathematical death sentence for all codes, and brute force method is the executioner. It reminds me of something, you know? Exactly. It's similar to what this library has been doing for millennia. It lists an infinite number of possibilities based on a finite set of characters. Truth always exists in those infinite possibilities. It's just, we haven't found it yet. All we lack now is time. The very purpose of cryptography is to delay the progress of decryption. Through countless laborers and slaves, combined with unwavering determination and patience, the Memphians unraveled the command to activate Aten. However, we don't have that much time or manpower. Nonetheless, we're a few thousand years ahead of the Memphians. During Akhenaten's era, people themselves were the basic computing units, using their fingers and brains to calculate. But now, the most advanced computer in the world is right here, in this part of the Babel Tower. And that's why I didn't pursue Ereshkigal, but came here instead.
The central computer room.
Indeed. These interconnected processing modules.
Insufficient.
Are you worried the computational power is still not enough? Well, if we solely rely on the processing modules in the tower, it might not be sufficient. But this is the Library of Babel. It replicates all the rooms infinitely, which in turn expands the size of our processing module rooms infinitely. So, we'll combat infinity with infinity. We use the library to achieve trillions of possibilities and achieve a feat that would take the Memphians eons to accomplish. We'll connect all the extra processing modules, forming a processing network with ample computational power. And leave the rest to brute force method. Complex techniques are nothing in the face of raw power. Let's activate the central computer ahead. Moonset! Futile effort! Let's see. With the current computational power, it'll take us another 24 hours to go through every possible combination. That's hardly surprising, to be honest. Looks like we'll have to connect the other arithmetic modules. The path to the console for the first module is blocked. We need to find a way to lower this barrier. Are there sensors up there?
Change mind only the sinners. Nana, the space.
Yeah, I know. Things are getting tricky.
Space.
The timeline of this library is collapsing, along with the nearby time periods. I'm afraid Ereshkigal has caused it. This space is highly unstable now, and we can't be sure which point in time we've been sent back to. But don't worry. We still have a chance before the timeline of this space collapses completely. How much more do we need?
60%.
We need to pick up the pace.
Condemnation!
The control hub for the arithmetic module is up on that platform, but this place is like a labyrinth. I need to figure out how to navigate it.
Chains bind only the sinners. Chains bind only the sinners. Chains bind only the sinners. Condemnation.
And this arithmetic module is connected too. All right, we're down to the last module. Let's keep going. We need to open that door to access the console for the last module.
No room for error.
Ignorance. Condemnation.
The last module's now connected. We can leave now. All the modules are connected now. Let's hurry back and reboot the central computer. We've successfully restarted. And now, we'll leave everything else to the brute force method. Don't let anything get near it until it finishes the calculation.
No room for error.
Bow before the sun's brilliance! Ignorance. Judgment. Judgment. Bow before the sun's brilliance! Ignorance. Condemnation.
A spark of inspiration. No room for error.
Worked?
If you're talking about getting a full list of all possible combinations, it worked. However, if you're talking about finding the specific one to deactivate Aten,
Verification.
exactly. That's the most challenging part. Every possible word, phrase, and chapter now reside within this computational network. But how are we supposed to find that specific command? If we recite all the commands, one must deactivate Aten. But Aten is not here, and there are only the two of us. Can we really recite all the commands before we die of old age? How can we quickly send all these commands to Aten to check if they're correct? Oh gosh, Cosmos. You left behind quite a mess. What were you thinking? Huh? Hold on a sec.
When you face a problem that you can't solve, use it, Nana.
Critical moment. This is the critical moment. What am I supposed to do with your legacy? What are you doing? The port doesn't even match. This is...
You... Get away from this place.
You are all such good kids.
Zero. You'll meet someone in the near future. You will meet an outlander who once basked in the sunlight, but chose to descend into the depths of the caves. This outlander comes from the outside and knows nothing of the cave. Naturally, they will be confused about their situation. You must guide and protect them. This is your mission. From the moment you meet your fated person, your blank life will start getting its meaning. While inevitable destiny might sound like a burden, you can think of this fated encounter as a romantic tale and look forward to it. That's all I have to say. Now, I must depart. I'm going beyond the cave to see the real sun. Yes, we will. Remember, any destiny, no matter how long and complex, is only reflected in a single moment. The moment when you realize who you truly are. This is true for the Outlander, and for you too. When both of you realize who you truly are, we will meet again.
Why? Didn't I tell you to leave? Well, I'm sorry. Although I told you that you had the right to regret, That's not the truth. The director... No, Cosmos. He told me that I must keep whoever holds the pendant safe. So, if you had rejected my request back then, I would have erased your memory. Not only the memory of being here. Are you angry? Let me down. I'm fine. My body possesses a special property. It's not safe ahead. Follow me. Let's go ahead and check things out. That was... Yeah, I did. The library is collapsing due to Arten's massive destruction. For the library itself, time and space are intertwined. It created these infinite rooms by organizing all possibilities in both time and space simultaneously. So naturally, if the library collapses, time collapses with it. When time and space collapse together, it's like a black hole in reality. Once you cross the event horizon, all measurements and laws will cease to exist. Think of this library as a colossal kaleidoscope, As it destabilizes and starts spinning, countless fragments fall, crack, and collide, intersecting in space and intertwining in time. What you saw is probably the time sector from when you first encountered Arashan and Arten, merged with our current time. What resides within the light cone is destined. The collapse starts here, at the singularity of the black hole. All light cones will curve toward the singularity, ultimately leading to an impenetrable event horizon. Even if we can change the past, it is destined. Find Arten. This isn't over yet. Arten hasn't detonated itself, because if it did, everything here would be eliminated. We still have a chance. It must be at the starting point, where the beacon is located. No anomalies can resist their instinct to get close to the beacon.
Fluttering wings. Fluttering wings. Futile effort!
There's a trace left by Arten. Let's follow it. What's wrong? These bookshelves. I see. Do you remember what it was like when we first got here? That time sector is overlapping with the one we're in now. While we can observe them, they can't do the same with us. I'm not sure, but it's worth a shot. Back then, the people who sent messages to us were no other than our present selves. Let's give it a try. know, but even so, we should follow what has already happened. Otherwise, the space would become even more unstable. Let's start from there. I remember the codes for those books. Watch out.
Fluttering wings.
Fall. The distortion is over. This bookshelf now contains the books only from this time sector. Let's go. Remember? The second suspicious bookshelf is right here.
Fluttering wings.
We still have one more chance. Let's go. The third bookshelf is over there, but we can't reach it just yet. Try activating the console over there. Yeah. Arashon.
Fluttering
She
wing.
can't hear us. That's her in another time sector before the library collapsed. We can observe them because we are the singularities.
Huh? Who's there?
Fluttering wing.
At this rate, Arashon might not make it before our past selves come to help her. Understood. Smash that pillar. It'll hold these things back.
Fluttering wing.
Farewell, Arashon. Let's follow Arten's traces and keep pushing forward. Now I understand. We were the ones who broke the doorway and stopped. Be careful. It's not safe here.
Fluttering wing. Fluttering wing. Fall. Fluttering wing.
Let's go.
What happened? What happened? Is it down?
No. Too fast.
So that's why. The validation has begun.
Prepare yourself. We've got to stop it right now. Futile effort! Fluttering wings. Fluttering wings. Fluttering wings. 4. The situation has changed. The waiting. Ansu, end it all. Fluttering wings. Fluttering wings. it all! Fluttering wings. A spark of inspiration! Fluttering wings. Fluttering wings. Verification has started. Let's catch up to it. The library is listing and outputting all possible commands.
purification successful. R10 has stopped.
Well, let me tell you a story. A story about the sun. Once, there were prisoners who had been living in a cave, bound and facing the cave wall since they were children. They couldn't turn back, see the exit of the cave, see themselves, or see the other prisoners. For the rest of their lives, all they could see was the wall in front of them. Beyond the cave, the sun shone brightly, and its rays illuminated everything. The objects outside the cave, favored by the sun, cast their shadows on the walls of the cave. The prisoners saw these moving shadows, mistaking them for real creatures. They believed that those shadows constituted the real world. They even devised a set of laws for the movements of these shadows, predicting what was to come. One day, however, these prisoners broke free and walked into the world beyond the cave. What do you think will happen when these prisoners finally see the real sun? You don't need to answer my question. Once you leave this place, you will forget this conversation with me. But it doesn't matter, because you will witness everything with your own eyes. You will encounter those prisoners, and you will see the real sun. We will meet again at some distant point in the future. Farewell, Outlander.